Oh, man. So many things. Hello. My phone was beeping, so I'm like turning off my phone, unmute the mic, deep breaths. We made it. It is Friday. And not only is it Friday, it is August, which is really hard to believe. I feel like I blinked and this year has just been flying by. My kids start back to school next week. And we just got their uniforms in today, and Andrew in 7th grade, for the first time, because they're in private school, is wearing a blazer and a suit and tie, like a blazer and tie every Friday, and it's just like, "Oh my gosh, my child has grown up." Somebody else said at another thing the other day, they were like, "Oh, yeah, well, I've got a teenager," and it just was like, "Oh my gosh, I have less than a year before I have a teenager." Exactly 1 month from today, I will have a 5-year-old, like my baby, who's my baby, my tiny little baby that you guys all knew, which is key, just in my arms, is gonna be 5 a month from today. I just feel sometimes like, I know people have said this my whole life, this is nothing new, but it's just the older you get, the faster time seems to go, and yet the older you get, the more you wish it would slow down. And I just am trying to find ways, we're going to continue our talk about resilience today. I'm continuing to try to find ways to not waste time in ways that are unintentional for me. And then also to slow time down and make sure that I am not rushing my way through my life, always on the way to that next goal, and just enjoying the unfolding of it all. And that is, it takes intention and it takes mindfulness. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about magical tools. I have this little Hello Kitty in my this Hello Kitty came from Raleigh, but it's so funny because she has no nose, but she has a mouth, and Hello Kitty doesn't actually have a mouth. So it's very cute, but it's incorrect, an incorrect Hello Kitty. So yeah, so we are there's a way for a muggle to be like Hermione without her time turner. I know. If I could have a time turner, I would be so happy. Of course, I think it just made her busier, right? So maybe not. Oh my goodness. Both my girls are going to be in middle school, 6th and 8th in September. The years are flying by. Timoana said she has a 10-year-old coming up in December. It's just, yeah, I wish that we could slow it down just a little bit. My oldest graduates from college this May. Oh, goes into the Air Force. Casey and I got to spend time together in Boston. You do not seem old enough to have a child in college. It just blows my mind. Non-canonical Hello Kitty. It's like a anatomically imposter kitty. I love it. So funny. So if I posted this in the Discord server, but we have this joke in Twitch streams, which I'm hoping to get back to, about a Groupon doctor, because there's a doctor in the Until Dawn game that is like his office just gets more and more deteriorated, and people are like, where did this person find this doctor, on Groupon? So it's just like a group joke. And they announced recently that the doctor that plays what we call the Groupon doctor in the game will also play that doctor in the movie. And I just thought that was really funny. But unfortunately, the man who plays the curator of the library in the Dark Pictures anthology passed away. And so he will not be appearing, I think, in the rest of those unless they had already recorded it. So that is very sad. But anyway, hopefully we'll be getting back to some Discord, or not Discord, but Twitch streams. But it's just, I think I was kind of mentioning this to some friends also. I think I mentioned this last week, that I have been pushing myself a little bit too hard. And then in transformation times, when we're going through a lot that might not be visible to other people, like I don't necessarily have any kind of trauma or other things that are coming up, or like, anything specific that would be bringing me down. But it's just a matter of sometimes when we're going through spiritual and mental and emotional transformations and trying to get to the other side of it, we can we sometimes need a break, or we need a little bit more introspection, a little bit more rest, a little bit more time to journal and lean on some of our other tools. And I don't think I was giving myself that. So I have been more low energy over the past couple of weeks and trying to get some extra rest, and it has been helping. So we're going to talk today about specific magical tools for resilience in order to get yourself out of a slump, in order to keep moving forward, in order to keep going towards your goals in a way that feels spiritually fulfilling. So, we're going to talk about some of those things. Oh, Amanda says I'm floating on clouds today. I'm finally publishing my episodes on Kindle Vella. It's all thanks to me. No, it's all thanks to you. You're doing this. That is so exciting. You'll have to post a link for us somewhere so we can go check it out. Hey, Rebecca. Hello, hello. Yeah, getting rest before Spooktacular. Spooktacular is going to look a little different this year, because by the time Spooktacular comes around, we will have the Broken Chapter Society already going, and a Mirror of Shadows will also be in progress. And that is going to look different than we thought it would, because it will not be in Ream. It's going to be happening here on YouTube, as well as on my own website. So I will, once that is more solidified, I'll share more details. I just noticed this sad little flower on this side is dying. So these flowers, they gave me, I had mentioned this a couple of times, but Lexi Ryan, she writes contemporary romance, but she also writes young adult romantasy. Her publisher, HarperCollins, invited me. I was like, what? I'm an indie author. This was such a cool moment in my career, because I did not know they ever invited indie authors on book tours, but they invited me to host Lexi Ryan, who is a #1 New York Times bestselling author, at her book tour stop here in Dallas area. So it was at the Frisco Barnes and Noble, which is a huge 2-story Barnes and Noble. And there were you had to buy tickets to the event. She was signing hardcovers, and I got to be the sort of host. So all the posters said Lexi Ryan in conversation with Sarra Cannon. And when I got there, they had a whole stack of my books, and several people bought my books. A few of our Hardies and other fans came in and brought me gifts, and I got to sign books for the very first time in Barnes and Noble. And that was really fun. And I did not get to keep a poster, but they did give me they did have me sign the poster, because they keep them at the bookstore, and they gave me the flowers from the event, because they were like, we want you to have them. And then they also are keeping some stock in the store. So if anybody is here and you're in the Dallas area, but you didn't get to make it to the event, you can go to the Stonebriar Center Barnes and Noble and buy a signed copy of Beautiful Demons. So that was just super, super fun. And, back in, there's a dragonfly. Perfect timing. Yesterday, when I was recording the video for my Heart Breathings channel with the budgeting, there was a hummingbird outside my window, which was also really cool. But there's a dragonfly, literally just he's just hanging out. He's just coming to say hi to all of us. I wish I could turn the camera around and show you guys. But when I decided to self-publish, I actually went into a local Barnes and Noble and thought, okay, one of my dreams has always been to be in the store, to see my book physically on the shelves. And when you start self-publishing, it felt at the time that you're just giving that up, right? And I walked through the store and thought, how much does this matter to me? And in the end, I was like, it doesn't matter to me as much as getting to get my stories out to readers the way that I want to do it. And so that was just really neat. To kind of come full circle and be like, oh, I didn't actually have to give that up. And it was a cool experience that I want to mark with gratitude, to have a HarperCollins publicist reaching out to me to arrange travel details and make sure that I've got everything I need, and then get there and they're getting you water. And it just felt like, oh, I'm a famous person, even though I was sort of tangential to a famous person. But it was, the reason they asked me is because Lexi Ryan is a fan of my Heart Breathings channel, and she was the one who suggested having me there. So it was just really a very cool event, and we had a lot of fun. And my friend Megan Vernon, who helped out with our spectacular last year, this dragonfly is he's just enjoying the joy, I guess, emanating from the room. She was there with her teenage daughter, who also bought a copy of my book, and it was just It was a great day. It was super fun. But okay, a little bit of a tangent. I will say, I'm not going to talk too much about Broken Chapter Society right now, just because I don't have all of the details figured out. But for those of you that weren't here last week, instead of doing the Broken Chapter Society and the book A Mirror of Shadows on Ream, we're going to be reading it again live here on YouTube. And those readings will most likely take place this same time of day at 4 p.m. Eastern on Monday and Wednesdays. And if you're not there, it'll be similar to The Witch's Key. If you're not able to be there live, you just watch the replay whenever you want. Or if you are an actual subscribing member, you'll also get access to a private podcast of the readings, and you'll get access to the words themselves. Like, probably not an ebook. It'll probably be on my website for you to read them if you'd rather do that than watch me read it. But it's going to be really fun. And I've got all kinds of things lining up. I have an entire whiteboard in the other room just full of ideas. And A Mirror of Shadows has already begun. So I'm working on that while I'm also finishing up edits of The Disappearance of Vanessa Shaw, which I'm having a second cover made. There's so many fun things going on in the background. And I just can't wait. I'm also going to be, and this is like, what? I have never been on TikTok, but I'm going to be starting. I already have an account on TikTok. So if you want to go ahead and follow me over there, I have 2 signed up just to save my username. But the one I'm going to be using is at Sarra Cannon without an underscore, just my name at Sarra Cannon. I think I already have 800 subscribers over there, or like what do you call it on TikTok, followers. But I'm going to be promoting my books and talking about some of the Broken Chapter Society stuff on TikTok. So if you are on TikTok, some of you already follow me. Go follow me over there, boost me up to 1,000 if you can. I will be starting to post there coming up in the next month. So it's going to be fun. Why a second cover for Disappearance Vanessa Shaw? One, because, okay, I do want to get to the tools for resilience, but I will answer a couple questions because we don't have a ton in Discord to answer right now. So one reason for a second cover for Disappearance of Vanessa Shaw is that I had that cover made by Najla Kwamber, I think when I was pregnant with Evie. So 5 years ago, back in the day. And at the time, it was a really great, I still love the cover. But since then, there have been some big breakouts in young adult mystery, like Good Girl's Guide to Murder and Alexa Dunn's books, and a bunch of other stuff like that. And then, I see the questions. I do not have super chats turned on this channel. Again, I probably should. Thank you. I don't think I have it turned on over here. But I feel like because the general trendy cover for young adult mystery books does not have like a girl on the cover, most of the time it's like an object, like a smashed phone or a sweatshirt with blood dripping on it. It's like Alexa Dunn's newest thing. I feel like I also want to have a second cover that is an object cover. And I think, I don't know, what I kind of envision is a broken phone, because that's an important element, and potentially like a planchette from a Ouija board, because there's just a scene that has a Ouija board in it. So we're going to play around with some different covers. So those of you that pre-ordered Disappearance of Vanessa Shaw will get to choose which cover you want on the book, and everybody's going to get some bonus swag and some bonus other things. Yay, 869 on TikTok without a post. I love it. Thank you guys so much. But I think we're going to test out the different covers, and we're going to see, and probably both of them will be available for purchase, but I want to make sure that everybody who pre-ordered gets a choice of which one you want. And then you'll also probably get a postcard of the other cover, the second cover. All right. Let me think. There's questions. Did something happen with Ream? Ream is still a great option for authors. I still highly encourage people to give it a shot. Amelia Rose is wonderful, but there was some we'll say the people that founded it had a breakup and it got a little bit ugly as breakups do. Imagine it like a divorce or something. And it seems like there's like legal stuff pending and Michael is gone. And even though I adore Amelia, I just feel like I was already unsure about building something off my own platform or in a place that I don't already, exist. And it just feels like, you know what? Let's just build it where my audience already is, which is here and on my website and stuff. So I'm going to try to just kind of make it easier for everybody. So, okay. Do you have the donation stickers in the chat? So I don't think I have it turned on for this channel, but if anybody was wondering, part of my solution to being like, you know what, if ads are controversial for people, I'm not going to turn on ads right now, but I will turn on super chat or super thanks, where it's basically, if I'm doing a live stream, you can donate to my channel. And if you like a video, like if you like yesterday's budgeting video and you want to put $1 into my account, you can do so. But that way it's very opt-in, but not expected. And it's just an easy way if people want to sort of donate to my editor's fund or just to say thank you, that is there for you guys without any pressure. So with 2 covers, how do you position it on Amazon? This is a good question. A lot of people, I have 2 TikTok accounts because I just wanted to save my name in 2 different formats, but the one I'll use is the one without an underscore. So just Sarra Cannon. With 2 covers, the way that like a lot of romance authors will do one cover with like an embracing couple, but then they'll do what they call a discrete cover, which is one that maybe has like flowers or something else on it. And the way they typically do it is they'll have either the ebook has one cover and the paperback has a different cover, or they'll have ebook and paperback under one listing, and then they'll make a separate listing for the discrete cover, but mention it in the A+ content so that you can find an easy link to it. And that's probably what I will do, is have both ones available. Will you be posting the same stuff on Instagram for those of us that don't have TikTok? Yes, it's going to basically be reposts of what I'm going to be doing on Instagram, but you're going to see I've been working on a new content strategy plan for my Sarra Cannon stuff now that we're going to be like, imagine this, like an author who's actually releasing books again. I will tell you that I probably shouldn't say this, but you guys are my besties in the writing world. So I will say this, but I will also say, be kind to me if this completely fails. But my goal is to have 3 books out between now and the end of the year. And I have a very clear plan for it, and I'm very excited for it. So if I can pull it off, it's going to be a very exciting year. One of those will not be most likely book 12 of my Shadow Demon saga. However, that will be going up on pre-order before Spooktacular, hopefully. So just you're going to see lots of new stuff coming on TikTok. I feel super rejuvenated. And this is part of what or not just TikTok, but Instagram and in the Coven as well. 1 book for each cherry on your hat. Jenna, so true. So true. I feel like this transition for me, I kind of mentioned this tearfully in a meeting on Monday with my mastermind, but it was a good release. Sometimes we just need to cry. That a lot of times, and this will feed well into our talk on resilience for those of us looking forward to that discussion, because I have a whole list of 9 tools that I want to share with you. I feel like the past has been like, I've been sitting here in my self-sabotage, my like fears of like, who do you think you are? Just all those old limiting beliefs and things. And the future has been pulling me forward. And so it feels like this rubber band that has just been getting stretched and stretched and stretched. And I think that's where this feeling of like melancholy and low energy has been coming from, because it's almost like I think I was saying this to Rebecca. I think she's here. Oh, Jill's got her 3 cherries up. Rebecca, tell me if I think I was mentioning this to you specifically on Marco Polo, but I feel like the universe is saying, hey, we've been manifesting all this stuff on the back end, and I'm ready to open this door for you where the floodgates are about to open. So are you going to like get with the program here and like align yourself with this? Or are you going to stay stuck in the past of all your excuses, all of your fears and trauma and all of that stuff? Or are you ready to actually step into this new version of yourself? And that is a very vulnerable thing for me to say online to potentially over the next week, thousands of people, but I'm going to say it. Yeah, I will mention that in a second. I'm gonna say it because I'm gonna claim it, and I've actually got a new project, and I'll show you that when we get to another part of this, video today. Um, it's I'm getting myself aligned, and for me, this is part of resilience in and of itself, because so often when we go through trauma or we feel chaos and um we feel low or we've been through a lot of stuff and we just are feeling like life is chaos. Resilience is that act of picking yourself back up and getting back into your goals and being able to continue forward and move yourself up that mountain yet again. And sometimes when it comes to resilience, what it is like this feeling of I've already worked so hard to get where I am, and not only can I not sustain it, but I feel like I'm moving backwards. And I feel like with my writing career and just my, like you guys have been here the whole time, and I love you for that. But also in my own mind, I know I've been struggling to just get the words on the page and find my balance and find my alignment. And it's like in those moments of transition, yay, 222, let's do it. In those moments of alignment or realignment where yeah, maybe the rubber band has let go and smacked you in the butt or the face or whatever. It's like one or the other is going to happen. This rubber band is going to snap or going to pull me forward, and it's going to slingshot me into amazing things, or this other side is going to snap and it's going to hit me in the face. And I think so often when we find ourselves in those moments, it's up to us. The universe is saying, what do you want to do? And sometimes we have to be in that cocoon where we say, I just need to rest to get the energy up to take on this next mountain or this next challenge. But sometimes there's not going to be the time we need to fully rest, because it's going to be go time. And we are going to have to decide about whether we're going to claim that or whether we're going to stay stuck where we've always been. And thank you, Shepherd's Daughter. I I really I feel like it's my choice. Do I want to soar forward or do I want to stay stuck and feel the pain of that sting of knowing I could have done more? And I do know, because people like to remind me of this all the time, that I'm too hard on myself, and I do know that. But that is also part of what allows me to move forward, is not settling for less than I know what I'm capable of, but there is balance there. And sometimes I go too far on the self-judgment, and I'm trying to get better at that. But uh, some magical tools for resilience, for when you feel like you have no motivation or you've just been through the ringer or you're just exhausted. Number one, of course, recentering yourself, taking the rest that you need, because we're not talking about toxic resilience where you push yourself to a point of just you can't do anything at all. Take the rest, get a eagle eye view of like what's really going on in my life and what do I need to take care of? What are my new priorities? But I also have some tools that I specifically reach out to, and I think Timoana, I think you gave me this one. Um, so I know that not everybody resonates here with witchy tools, but I'm going to share some witchy tools. If it's not for you, that's fine. This is a pendulum, and you can put a ring on a necklace, or you can use a necklace, or you could even put like a washer, anything heavy on a chain or a string. And you can use your own body's sort of like magnetism and swaying micro movements that you can't even see to tap into your own intuition. And I like to use this when I feel like I don't know where I'm going and I don't know what I really feel, because I'm hearing all these things like other people, let's say other people say to me, why aren't you publishing? You should be doing this. You should be writing sexier. You should be doing XYZ. And I start hearing all this noise about all the things I should be doing. I can't quite tap into, yeah, I thought this one was from you. The moon part of it broke off. I do still have it, but I broke it. It came with a moon on this side. I have it. I need to repair it, but it works just the same. I use this one a lot because what you can do with a pendulum is, if you get real, it might be hard when I'm talking, but if you get really still, you can say to your pendulum, show me yes. see how it starts moving? So yes is kind of moving back and forth, and then you can say like, show me no, and it will most likely start moving in the opposite direction. So then once you get a good feel for what yes is and what no is, it's not like there's some invisible force moving this pendulum. It's your own body's vibrations and your own intuition. Some part of your subconscious mind is moving it. So it's a way to tap into your intuition of like letting go of the other noise and saying, what do I really feel deep down inside myself? So like if I said show me yes, so show me no, it's not going to answer like what should I do next, but it will help you tap into some of these questions that you might have about like, is this the right time for me um to transition to focusing more on my books? And it's very clearly saying yes, right? Oh, I love that. Have you tried asking, "Show me I love you"? I have never tried that. I love it. Yeah, exactly. A lot of witchy tools are just about finding ways to dip into your own subconscious. Um, yeah, I love that. And it is true. So where can you get a pendulum? You can get them from pretty much any metaphysical store. If you have one nearby, you could probably buy one off of Etsy, or Amazon even probably has pendulums. But like I said, you can also just like take any necklace that you have and put your wedding ring on it, and it will work the same way. Just anything that kind of weighs the string down or the necklace down, you can use. And sometimes it helps if you put it near your heart center. Like if you just put it closer to your heart, sometimes that can be helpful because it's kind of centered on your body rather than like doing it way out here. There also are mats and other things that you can get that will say yes, no, maybe, and some other things like that, that will help you answer your questions. And it will sometimes even swirl in a circle. It doesn't always go back and forth. Sometimes the movement will be different. So pendulum is one witchy tool that you can very simply just pull out at any time and tap into your own subconscious. Like, is this the right thing? Am I hearing this correctly? Um, should I be resting right now? Like, is that the perfect way for me to do it? And it can just be a super easy tool to tap into that when you're feeling chaotic, and it can help you use your intuition. Another one similar to that, if witchy kind of crystal-y tools don't feel right to you, is to use muscle testing. So I'm not going to exactly do this either because then I'd have to stand up and you guys will see my short shorts, but you can use the sway test. So one thing, and I'll use my hand, but you'll see this, and you can stand up if you're watching this right now and you're in a safe place to actually stand up. Use the muscle test that's called the sway test, where you just stand up straight, arms next to your side, standing up on a flat surface. You can wear shoes or not shoes, it doesn't matter, just as long as you're stable. And take some deep breaths to kind of center yourself, and then ask yourself questions that are basically yes or no questions as well. So you can start out testing it by saying things like, "My name is Sarah." If the answer is yes, your body will begin slowly to move forward. So if this is me here and this is my face, um, hello. If I said my name is Sarah, my body would literally start moving forward to the point where I probably have to take a step to stay in balance. But if I said my name is Angela, I would likely move backwards just a little bit. So you can kind of test that to get yourself. Now, I will say this one for overthinkers. If you're an overthinker or like a straight A student, speaking of Hermione, you like always feel like you're a perfectionist. This one can be tough to really get yourself grounded in because you're like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? So try to just clear your mind. But that can be another similar way to a pendulum to tap into your own intuition and your own truth, that you could say, like, even asking, do I really want XYZ? Do I trust this? So if you said, like, is now the right time for me to sign up for Publish and Thrive? And just breathe and let your body either move you forward or backward. And that is, it's not, like I said, some kind of ethereal metaphysical tool. It's literally just tapping into your own subconscious mind that will say to you, if you move forward, that means, yes, I think right now is my time. And that's why I've been feeling drawn to it. If you move backwards, it might be because there's a part of your subconscious mind that knows you're not quite ready for that step. And so you can use that to help you make decisions, sort of like your own personal GPS system from your own. Too late to do that test. Listen, if you're already signed up, the time is now. You are in, and we are good. But like less, yeah. So I'm gonna talk about fingers too. But thank you for mentioning that. There are 3 different muscle tests that you can use. So if the balance test is not good for you, another one you can do is the arm test, where you basically hold your arm out just like this. But this one you need a partner for, right? So you have a partner who puts one hand lightly on your shoulder and the other hand on your wrist. So they're holding you kind of like this. And they'll ask you questions. Is your name Sarah? If the answer is yes, your arm will stay straight. If the answer is no, they'll be able to just lightly push your arm. And it's, again, this kind of stuff for people who are perfectionists and always worried if you're doing it right and you're in your mind, can take a little bit of time for you to just sort of let go. Did I freeze? I hope not. I seem to be okay. If I'm frozen, tell people to refresh, unless I'm frozen for everybody. But that arm test can be super, super good. Another one, like Jude mentioned, is this. Well, actually, I think this might be different. Use the sticky fingers way, thumb to forefinger, move gently back and forth. Oh, this is different. Thank you, Jude. Okay, so what she's saying is thumb to forefinger, move gently back and forth. If it moves smoothly, that's a yes. If it's an easy no, is sticky. So the one I've also heard is taking a loop, thumb and forefinger like this. And if your fingers move apart, that's a no. And if they stay strong, it's a yes. But that one doesn't actually work for me. So you could kind of try any of those. Because if you have balance issues, you might not want to do that one. But those types of muscle tests can just be a way for you to sort of breathe and let your subconscious mind tell you what you're really thinking. And for me, these become tools for resilience, because when we are in trauma mode, chaos, everything feels like it's going wrong. One of the worst things we can do is just allow ourselves to keep spiraling or to give up entirely. And so one of the ways that we can get moving forward again, despite all the maybe negative thoughts or other things that are going, or the feeling that it's too much, is to tap back into our own truth and stop listening to what everyone else says and start really getting back into your own body and your own intuition. And these 2 tools, specifically the pendulum and the muscle testing, whichever ones you do, can be really helpful in just sort of cutting out that noise and getting back into yourself and starting to move forward again. Another one, obviously, I mean, this is going to come as no surprise. Witchy tools, magical tools, tarot cards. So if, I use flip a coin. If I'm disappointed where it lands, that's the true answer. Okay. Yeah, that can help. That one also is hard for me because I second guess myself when I'm like, was I disappointed, or did I just tell myself I should be disappointed? It's like the mind of a perfectionist. So for me, pendulum works a little better, but yeah, there are all kinds of tools. Flip a coin, pull something out of a hat, really start listening to your own intuition. Journaling, we're going to get into that one too. Guillermo del Toro themed tarot deck. Oh my gosh, I need to look that one up. That is very cool. This is my favorite deck, is the Light Seers tarot deck. I use this deck every single morning at night. So now I do a tarot draw every morning and I do a tarot draw every night. The tarot draw in the morning is always this deck. My evening tarot switches month to month. And I just realized last night I was using the Mystic Mondays tarot, that I didn't switch it out. So tonight I will switch out to a new deck. And I think we have a moon event coming up Sunday. Is it the full moon this weekend? Like, is it full moon or is it new moon? I'm so off cycle right now. I was too busy. New moon. Okay. So tarot can be another beautiful tool for intuition. And you know what? I'll tell you this one, that I was having those moments, like George and I had just bought this whiteboard for our room, and we were making all these notes about how we were going to release this book and how I'm going to write A Mirror of Shadows and how I'm going to tie it back in. Also, by the way, very exciting, Kylie is now finished with book 2 of the Shadow Demon saga in audio. And she said she got chill bumps at the end of it. She's like, oh, it's so good. So I'll be proofreading or proof listening to that. And then she's going to start working on book 3. So audiobooks are also coming before the end of this year because I'm going to rapid release those. So lots of fun things happening. But I was going through kind of a moment of like, I don't know, should I slow down? Am I ever going to get where I want to go? And I was just really, really feeling down on myself. This was like maybe 3 days ago. I was just having a day. I was having a day, maybe last week. And I said, I was like holding on to my tarot, and I was just saying, give me a message that I most need to hear right now. And I pulled the Star, which is one of the biggest messages of hope in the entire tarot deck. And the Star is often a message of like this is like your greatest healing, your greatest transformation, and you're finally finding your purpose and becoming the person you were always meant to be. And so that was such a beautiful affirmation for me. And that was at night. Then I woke up the next morning and did my daily tarot draw with this one and got the Star again. And then later that night, I drew the Star a 3rd time. And getting the same card 3 times in a row from 3 different tarot decks was it was such a, like when we talk about resilience and we talk about knowing, I believe that there is some part of us that knows which energy, especially the more you've worked with the deck, that will pull those cards from your subconscious mind. That your subconscious mind knows exactly which card. I don't like having this 3 of Swords on the bottom though. It's not my favorite card. But it's such a beautiful tool for those who resonate and connect with it. 3 for confirmation. It just meant so much to me because when you're in times of chaos or you're feeling down or you're feeling low, it can be such an affirmation that this is not going to last forever, but it can also provide. So this is another card I've been drawing a lot lately. And you want to talk about a card that perfectly symbolizes that rubber band of the future is calling me forward, but I'm still stuck in the past. It's the 6 of Swords. You can see she has her, she's on a boat. She's got the birds are carrying her forward through the stormy waves with all the wind. And she also has swords back there, and she has her suitcase. And this card is very much a card for me personally of, or my interpretation of it during these past couple of weeks. I have drawn this card so many times, because it's that idea of like, if you want to move forward, like I promise you, even if this is a difficult transition, there are such good things on the way for you, but you have got to let go. And it's my finger was hiding it. Is there a card you guys fear pulling? Like I do not like to get the 3 of Swords. That one always just makes me go, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. Because it basically means like betrayal or heartbreak. This is not my favorite card. I am not a fan of this card. Also, I do not like to get the Tower card because the Tower card always means something is going to get shaken up, and maybe sometimes in not a happy way. So sometimes those are the cards I also don't love getting the 5 of Pentacles. So there are some cards I'm just like, but they come when I need them to come. And that for me is really just it's so, I can't use any other word than magical. It is so magical because like there's just no explanation for why some cards come exactly when you need it. Just like Maple's saying, I got into tarot because I was joking around and pulled a card for a character only to get the exact card that would represent them. And it's like enough when you get that and you start to develop a relationship with your cards, like cards have special meanings to you, or they come at certain events in your life, or they come when you need comfort. It just becomes like an extension of your own subconscious mind. And I just love it. As you mentioned, Tara, I had the urge to do a pull with the same message. And I also got the Star. Jazz. I love it. I love it. Somebody else said they just drew a Star this morning too. The Devil. Yeah, the Devil is always a scary one too. It's like, oh gosh, it's harsh. But tarot. You guys know tarot means a lot to me. I love it. Another one that I have written down is journaling and scripting. We've talked about scripting before, but just to give another example, sometimes when we're looking to keep moving forward in our lives and we're looking to go through a transition, take ourselves through what has been a hard time and keep encouraging ourselves that there is hope on the other side. Like if you're just really going through it, scripting can be helpful. I will give a little bit of a warning. First, I'll kind of explain what it is for those of you who don't know. Scripting is a process of journaling as if you're journaling from your future. So it's as if, let's say, I really want to do a book signing again at Barnes & Noble, but this time I want it to be my book that's coming out. I could do a journal entry in my journal as if I'm getting ready for that future Barnes & Noble book signing. So the scripting could say something like, I've just gotten back from getting a blowout on my hair and I'm about to get ready. George just brought me a beautiful like iced coffee and somebody is going to do my makeup. The car is picking me up this afternoon and they're going to take me over to the Barnes & Noble where there's 150 fans that are going to be waiting that have pre-ordered my book that is a bestseller on Amazon, and Barnes & Noble and everywhere, or New York Times bestseller or whatever. So that stuff has not actually happened yet, but I'm basically like putting in my order with the universe saying this would be a lovely day to have. And so one is to say that can be really a tool for hope and resilience. And it can also, if you just allow yourself to daydream about what that future might look like, it can be super motivating, but it can also bring up things you didn't know you wanted. So it could be like, wow, I never knew I dreamed of being the kind of person who like had other people doing my makeup. Or it could be like, wow, I didn't even know that I was the kind of person who wanted to keep chickens in my backyard. But right now that just feels like peace. So you could say, I'm going to script what a peaceful day feels like for me. And scripting is kind of like putting in an I can't think of another better way to put it than putting in an order, sort of like creating a screenplay of what you want your life to be like in the future as if it's happening right now. And for me, it is, I'm so glad to hear this too. It is super, super comforting, hopeful, manifesting. It is like daydreaming on paper. It's such a beautiful process. But I will say, don't feel bad if you do it and it makes you feel overwhelmed. Because for some people, when they start thinking about their future in that way and they're in a place of darkness, then it can start to feel like you're amplifying that gap between where you are and where you want to be. Like, let's say you've just lost your house or something is you don't know what you're going to do, or you're going to be homeless, right? If you start scripting something huge that your subconscious mind is like, that is not at all, like we're in survival mode right now and you're trying to tell me that someday we're going to have a mansion, it can start to feel bad. So always listen to your intuition of like, if this starts to make you feel anxiety, then you're not scripting. It's not helpful for you. So maybe that's not the tool you need to turn to right now. Instead, you might want to do something like affirmations or script something that feels more immediate, like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited that my best friend just said that she has a place for us behind her house, that her Airbnb that she rents out is empty and they're going to let us come stay there for only $200 a month. That might feel better than trying to script like, we're millionaires. And yeah, so this is something Catherine Zenkina calls a ladder of believability. So stay in a place when you're scripting, I recommend anyway, that feels good to you. And then as you're scripting, try to actually get yourself into the feeling of like, not just going through the motions of writing it down. You can type too if you want, but actually putting yourself in the feeling of, gosh, that would feel so good to win $50 in the lottery tomorrow, or $50,000, or it would feel so good to be invited to sign books at a Barnes & Noble, or how great will it feel to finish the book, right? So you can kind of create something. So the ladder of believability is this idea of like, instead of trying to jump from homeless to owning a $5 million house, what's the next believable step that you can make toward having security in your home? Might not be the $5 million house. It might just be a nice apartment to rent that's affordable. And that feels more believable than jumping up to like being a millionaire with a mansion, right? So, and then once you have the apartment and that's starting to feel really good, you could script having furniture for that apartment, or you could start to script moving into a slightly bigger place and so forth. The magician, so perfect. We're talking all the manifesting things today. Illustration money for all the books, and really get yourself into a place of hope and believing that it's possible for you. Okay, meditation is another good one. And I don't just mean necessarily quieting your mind, but there's a specific meditation that I like to do for resilience, which is to sit. I usually sit on the floor, but just sit anywhere that's comfortable that you feel grounded. And I go through a process of, let me think kind of how to explain this. I can't even remember exactly where I got this from or if it was just something that I made up from hearing other things, but I basically imagine that there's a bright beam of light coming down from heaven straight through the center of my head. And I imagine that if I'm an empty vessel, that light is filling me up just like sand in an hourglass, but it's like sparkly and shiny and moving. It's like someone's pouring like magical, glittery goo into my body. Sounds so weird. But I will just feel that, and I will imagine it going all the way down to my toes, all the way through my body, and that light begins to emanate as if I myself am a light in the darkness. And it's clear, I imagine that it's clearing me of any negativity, of any bad juju, of anyone else's bad thoughts. And in this moment, that light is nothing but pure love from heaven, just coming down and filling me up. And then once I am completely full, like I've imagined it all the way to the top of my head, I imagine that light creating like a bubble around my body. And I imagine I am nothing but safe, and there's nothing that can harm me when I'm in this light of bubble. And then I will take everything that I'm worried about right now. So since we were using the example of not being able to find a house, not knowing where you're going to be, because we were, believe it or not, just there 2.5 years, 3 years ago. Yeah, it was right around 3 years ago now. I can't remember. Yeah, we left. It was almost exactly 3 years ago now that we found out we were not getting our house, and we didn't know where we were going to go because our current place was gone, and like we didn't know where we're going to end up. So imagine you don't have home security, like safety of having a roof over your head. Once your body is filled with that light, I would take, sort of almost imagine taking that worry out of my heart space and holding it and putting it into a basket at my feet or in front of me. And then imagine that there's going to be, it can be a guide, it can be someone in your own family that has passed, like a spirit guide, ancestor, it could be an angel, just anything that you feel like a spirit or comforting presence that you feel would come and take things from you. Like I pour that out of me, that worry, and put it in a basket at, like I'm giving it up, and imagine that angel coming and taking it away and bringing it into the light. And then imagining and kind of saying to myself, it's going to be okay. Things are always working out for me. I trust that I'm going to be looked out for. And just that process of sort of letting go of that can help so much with the anxiety that I have, and just reminding me. And anytime I get into a place of panic, when I start to feel like, oh, there's that thing that I'm worried about again, I can close my eyes and just imagine immediately that that light is surrounding me. And I love it. Um, can this help with finding myself? I feel like I know who I want to be, but I don't feel any of those versions. Like I don't know who I am anymore. I think that the pendulum and the tarot can be really good tools, but probably journaling and meditation might be the best tools. Sometimes when we've gone through transition and we're trying to figure out who we are anymore, it can be really helpful to journal about your future. And one of the things that we do in HB90 that is really helpful is writing a letter from your future self. Like imagine that you like are, like if you close your eyes in meditation and you imagine some number of years in the future. It could be 1 year from now, it could be 10 years from now, but just imagine that you're like traveling through space to this future space, and you go to the front door and you knock on the door, and your future self 5 years from now opens the door. What would they say to you? And journal or write yourself a letter as if that person was talking to you, or you could interview them. There is There are some tools for like future self interviews. That kind of stuff can really, really unlock like who you are in the future. I cannot believe it's 50 minutes in. I'm like talking as fast as I can. I'm on number 4 out of 9. Okay, one quick one too is anchors. Hello Kitty and different things like this can often be anchors. Tattoos can be anchors, but anchors can be tools of reminders. Basically, it can be your phone screen. Look at this cute. This is from Velvet Caviar. It's so cute. I love it. It can be your like if it could be cherries. So let's say cherries is an anchor for me, which it is. It's a reminder to say like you've already achieved so much. The rest is just the cherry on top. Just enjoy it. Allow yourself to be happy. You don't have to hustle for everything. You don't have to please everybody. Just enjoy your life like you've worked so hard to get here. So cherries become an anchor in my life. So I have cherry earrings, not on right now. These say mama. But I have, cherries on my phone case, cherries on my hat. Maybe I'll get a cherry tattoo at some point, but it's an anchor for me that every time I see that cherry, I almost remember this affirmation of like, you're allowed to just be happy and to just enjoy your life. This is all the cherry on top. And then if you wanted to, you could have like, it could be flowers, it could be a number. So in a future thing, I will talk about this since we don't have a lot of extra time. But one of them that you could do is the screen lock on your phone. So like if you have a PIN number or something that goes on your phone, you can put in a specific date. So, like, let's say I was looking forward to my 50th birthday. I could put my birthday with that, whatever year I'm going to turn 50, because I'm thinking about it as an anchor of like, I know who I want to be by the time I turn 50. So that could be like my password. And then my phone screen could be my vision board, which I was hoping to actually go through the process of showing you some vision board stuff with this, but maybe we'll do that next week because I'm not going to have time. Okay, let's see. Altars can also be helpful. And again, I know that we do have some people here who are very Christian and don't necessarily like anything that sort of transitions. It all comes together for me. It's all just spiritual tools. Like I have the Virgin Mary statue on my altar. But I know for some people, if it's not your thing, don't use the word altar. You could use it a prayer space, like create a prayer space for yourself. But that's basically what an altar is for me. I usually have fresh flowers on my altar. I have a statue of Persephone. I have a statue of the Virgin Mary. I will often have like I have the goddess Fortuna, like a prayer for fortune. I have pictures of my children, other things that I'm grateful for. And I have candles there that I will light and sometimes go to when I'm doing those meditations or when I'm saying prayers or when I'm trying to connect with my own intuition. And just having a space that belongs to you or even a box that you can pull out that has some of those tools can be helpful in sort of anchoring you down. So some of the tools that you could have there are goddesses. If you're Catholic, you could have your rosary there. You could have offerings or flowers based on the seasons or whatever. If you're in a part of like if you are Wiccan or pagan in some way and you follow the wheel of the year, whatever that season is, having something that kind of goes along with that, like dried fruits or flowers or specific like water or other things like that. Yeah, a lot of people will also do past family members or ancestors there, so you can like kind of call upon your spirit guides or other things like that. And just there's no rules as to how you could create it, but just kind of creating a space for yourself or something that you can pull out that helps you get into a place of peace and also reminds you you're not alone in this, that there are so many others who have come before you that have overcome so many things to allow you to be sitting in this place, and that you also have community around you. Like you have your friends here, you have me, you have your best friends, your partners, like whoever it is that is that support in your life. So just that kind of reminder that no matter how bad things get, you're not alone. Can be super helpful. Affirmations can also be really helpful. Having dream box where we talked about this in the manifesting class, where you have a box full of stuff that are all the like symbols of things you want to accomplish, like bookmarks if you want to be a best-selling author, or if you someday wish that you could own your own restaurant, you might have like a coaster or a napkin from a restaurant that's your favorite. Or if you want to own a bookshop someday, you might have like a business card from a bookshop. So when you feel down, you can go through that box and start remembering all the things you want to bring through your life. How do you get to the place you know what to imagine when you're trying to imagine a happy future? It comes so easily to me because I'm just a high futuristic person, and so sometimes I feel like maybe I don't give the best instructions for how to connect with it because it comes so naturally to me. But I do think that one of the best ways to get to to know what to imagine when you're trying to think of your happy future is to try to clear out all the things. If you can, like in meditation, quiet your mind, take some breathing space, have a journal with you, maybe play some music that doesn't have words to it, something that makes you feel calm, and try to get your mind completely blank. And then ask yourself questions like you're interviewing yourself. Like, what is it I really want? And there are some questions similar to this in some of the journaling stuff that I've given you guys before. So I can try to repost, Julia, if you're part of our Discord or in the Coven group on Facebook, I can try to post a link back to some of those journaling things that we've done. But just kind of asking, almost like interviewing your future self of like, what is it I really want? If there were no limitations to what I could be in my life, what feels like peace to me? What feels exciting for me? And you can even kind of try stuff on the same way you try clothes on. Think about what other people have. Like you could think about Sarah, be like, Sarah does a lot of live streams and videos and she writes books for a living. Is that something that makes me feel excited? If I think about doing that, you might go, oh, definitely do not. Like you can feel it in your stomach. Like, that I do not want to be on video. Or you might be like, oh, that sounds really fun to me. And start paying attention once you've gotten quiet to what feels like it sparks a little bit of excitement from you. Like, oh, I think I do want to try that, and keep exploring that over and over and over again. Another tool, and I'm going to share this real quick because I already have it pulled up. We're gonna work on vision, not a phone vision board later, but I'm going to, let's see. Where's my right screen? Okay, Pinterest. So uh, I have a lot of Pinterest boards, and this could be something that can help you too when you're trying to imagine a happy future for yourself, to start going through different images and thinking what resonates with me, like looking at different backyards or different houses, or thinking about different careers, or like being a student again, just anything that you can imagine, and start kind of trying it on by looking through some Pinterest boards. This is such a huge tool for me. So like when I start thinking about like what was my Q2 vision for this year, I have a handful, just a couple of pins. I don't know why that one's on there twice. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it now, but just like a handful of pins. Like I want to be on my treadmill more. I get to just fully be myself. I want to start working towards making $1 million. I want to start working more in my iPad. Like just any things like that that you could start using to connect with the things that you most want to do. So when I started thinking about traveling more with the family, I started a Pinterest board called Dream Vacations. And I just started looking at other people's dream vacations. And you can literally just go on Pinterest and search global travel or travel aesthetic, or vacations with your family or whatever, and start looking through and just pay attention to how you feel in your stomach when you start thinking about that type of travel. Like, does that appeal to me? Is that my thing? And if it's no, then turn to something else. But what we'll do next week is I'm going to show you guys how to make a really cool, like sort of anchor that combines affirmations and images for your phone wallpaper. So we'll do that. We'll do that next week because we don't have time. But those are kind of the main things. I still didn't really get to Discord questions, so I apologize. We'll do that next week. But it's an hour, so we did it. Oh, I like this. maybe dry one of those book signing flowers and save in your dream box as proof of manifesting. And I am very future focused. So a lot of times I will focus on the things I want to bring into my life. But something that can be helpful for you too is reminders of things that you've already accomplished, which can become evidence in your subconscious mind, like proving to your subconscious mind, look what I've accomplished in the past. So for a long time, I have it's actually in my money manifesting bowl in the other room. I told you guys about when I went to graduate school and I had that voice teacher that said to me, you can't come in here again until you get help with therapy, because he knew I was in a dark place. So he sent me to therapy, and I had the first guy that I started talking to, he had all these little toys on the table. And one of them was one of those like tubes that has glitter and stuff in it. And you turn it over and all the glitter starts to fall to the other side, and you turn it over and all the glitter falls. And it's just like literally this big. But every time I would go into therapy with him, I would have that in my hand and be watching it, because for some reason distracting my eyes and not having to look at him allowed me to talk about the things that I was you know that I was that were difficult for me to talk about. And when he moved on, because he was a student counselor, he was like, why don't you keep that, because you've been playing with that every single time. So I still have, from 20 something years ago, that little glitter thing. And I keep it because that is an anchor for me that reminds me that I survived that time. That was one of the darkest, most awful times of my life. And then when I combine that with the cherry, it's this very clear, empowering moment of like, look how far you've come. Your life now is the cherry on top. Like, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody. You've already overcome the hardest things you'll ever have to overcome. And like, that reminds me of it. And then the cherry reminds me to be grateful for everything I have right now and to just have fun with it. And then if I also combined that with a poster or something that says, the more fun I have, the more money I make, then it all starts to lead to both past and future affirmations that make me feel excited for the future. So the more you can kind of work with your own subconscious mind, the more resilient you will be. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this chat. If you want to keep working on it, I will show you some tips on using Pinterest and Canva to create anchors and vision boards for yourself, because it's such a powerful tool for me. And if you're a visualizing person, it can be helpful for you. But that's the chat. And I shared with you some things I will also share. I kind of shared it a little bit on my Heart Breathings Instagram, but I've got a new kind of always trying to hack my own brain, a new project that I'm calling Project 48. So I will talk about that next week as well. And hopefully I will have some time soon to actually be able to tell you when the release date for Disappearance of Vanessa Shaw is. So coming soon. Yeah. And anybody, I did put the link down below if you want to, but anybody who wants to be an author or wants to make your sales be a little bit stronger and wants to learn more about marketing, Publish and Thrive starts tomorrow we start at 2 p.m. Eastern, but Eastern 12 p.m. noon, we will close registration. So I hope to see some of you guys at the kickoff call. It's going to be great. I know a lot of you have already joined from this group, and that means a lot. And Amanda, please let us know. Post a link for us on your Discord. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Thank you for being here. We also have Double Down Day tomorrow for anybody that wants to join the Heart Breathings writing community and come write with us or do anything like that. And Michelle is going to see Lexi Ryan in Indiana on her book tour, which is cool. Say hello from me while you're there. And you can come in just real quick. Okay. Come say hi. We're going to 7 Brew to go get coffee. So we're excited. Oh, yeah. Look at this little 5-year-old, you guys, almost 1 month from today. Oh yeah, going to get some 7 Brew. So this little one used to just be a vision board picture on my vision board, right? Just someday I knew I wanted to have a daughter, and here she is. I mean, I wanted to have my son, but I already had him at that time. her favorite thing is just to make faces. But anyway, we're gonna go get some 7 Brew, some coffee to celebrate the last week before school starts.
And
so
then we're gonna celebrate my birthday.
Yep, 1 month from today. All right, you guys, I love you. I hope this was fun, and I will I'll see some of y'all tomorrow, or I'll see you next week. All right, bye everybody.